would like to share with a little bit today, can I put my notes right there, Trent, is just the idea of talking a little bit about leadership, talking a little bit about ethics, and oftentimes in the leadership roles that you have, you run into ethical situations where you need to make decisions. So what I would love is not for me just to sit here and blab all morning for the next 15 minutes or so, but I'd love to have a discussion with you, and I invite your thoughts and comments and participation. But first of all, the question I'd like to begin with is, what have you all been learning about leadership? It sounds like you've been discussing a little bit. Can anybody share a couple thoughts or ideas that you've picked up about leadership? Trent?
That you don't have to be elected to be a leader.
That's very good. You don't have to be elected to be a leader. Yes?
You don't have to be good to be a leader. But it decides on you, like what road you take and how you use your leadership.
Okay, so you don't have to be good to be a leader, but that kind of determines the road you take as a leader. That's very good. Yes?
To be a leader, you don't have to beat yourself down with things. Like if you drop something, don't beat yourself down.
Okay, so sometimes, I'm sorry, go ahead. Keep going. Okay, so yeah, in leadership, if you make a mistake, maybe you don't have to beat yourself up, because maybe part of being a leader is taking a chance, and maybe sometimes you take the wrong chance. Great. Taylor?
You don't have to like be in a certain culture to be a leader. Like,
Yeah.
you can be in.
Well, there's leaders in all cultures, right? Yeah, you don't have to be in any certain culture to be a leader. There's leaders in the animal kingdom, there's leaders in the human kingdom. Yes?
You don't have to be popular to be a leader.
That's
to
very
be
true.
Who you are.
You don't have to be popular to be a leader, and sometimes being a leader is very unpopular because you have to make some tough decisions that are not popular with a lot of people. Great point.
You don't have to.
Okay. And I'm serving right now as the president of the school board here in Ray Peck, and that was an elected position. People vote for the 7 people who are on the school board. So elected leaders is like a president. Do you have something else, Trent?
Like mayors.
Yeah, mayors, governors. What other elected elected leadership roles are there? Judge. Sometimes those are elected. Yeah. All right. Now, think of another type. We've talked about elected. Is there a few other types of leaders?
Leaders that come from poor environments.
That come from what?
That come from rural environments.
Rural environments?
Like, they come from a small place and not a lot of, they came from a poor family, kind of.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so maybe from,
Like,
okay, so how would we say that? It's a good one. They kind of come from more common means. Maybe they weren't part of the whole leadership structure, but how about this? This is a word I saw as I was preparing this, which I thought was interesting. It said emergent. Do you know what it means to emerge? Yeah.
Like you look like it, you slowly get better and
Yeah, you prosper, or you come from something. So maybe that's like Abraham Lincoln. He came from, well, let's put him down here maybe. And he was also elected, obviously. But you emerge from wherever you've come from, or maybe you're in a company and you emerge your way up. Yeah.
George Washington.
Right? George Washington was kind of he would have been in both of these, do you think? Because he emerged out of this early revolution and became the first president, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Another type. Other thoughts.
Non-elected?
What's that?
Non-elected?
Non-elected, okay.
Like the king or
Okay.
like the
Okay.
family life?
Yeah, okay. That's a great one. How would that be called?
Birth.
Kind of like, yeah, through a family or something like that? Like a
Dynasty.
Okay, yeah. Family or dynasty. But yeah, the king of England, it's always the son, that kind of stuff. Everybody's related, so it's kind of a deal where you work your way up. Do you have another one, Graham?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say king.
Yeah, like king. Family dynasty. We'll just put like king here. Okay. What about a leader that just is kind of rules with an iron fist? What kind of a leader is that called? Like a dictator? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. There's kind of dictator-type leaders. Who would be an example of that? Yes?
Hitler.
That's the example I came up with, yeah. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of people like this through history that have been dictatorial, would be the adjective for that. Yes? James?
Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, yeah. Bin Laden was like that. Now, here's a quick question, a little side tangent. Do you think dictatorial or authoritarian leaders are always bad?
No.
When there might be a situation when somebody who's kind of an authoritarian leader might be good?
Like, I don't know how you say this because I don't know much about it, but like someone who, like let's say there was a war going on, like someone tells the people what to do, they explode their cars.
Right, right. Oftentimes, I think in situations where there's just chaos or there's no order, sometimes it is helpful for somebody with a strong leadership style, almost authoritarian, almost dictatorship type stuff, to come in and say, look, boom, we've got to get going here. We're gonna not exist in a little while. All right, let's see, what else did I have? What about what about somebody who's a great leader because they can paint a picture of where they want people to go? Grant, what would you call that maybe? Or what are you thinking?
Oh, I don't really know what you call that. But we were learning about one, in the Revolutionary War.
Okay. What is it when you tell somebody about something, you're helping them cast a, Taylor? Or do you? Or like somebody says, I saw a, starts with a V. Anybody think of that?
Valid?
A vision. Yeah. So there's visionary leaders. And you know who one of the best visionary leaders was of all time? Who?
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King was a great visionary because he spoke about a greater society and a greater call. That's very true. There's somebody who's actually from Kansas City who is a great visionary leader. Has anybody here ever been to Disney World? Walt Disney was, I think, a great visionary leader. And you know, one of the stories I heard about him was that he was great at painting pictures and helping people envision these great things. When they built Disney, there's Disneyland in California, and then there's Disney World in Florida. And when he started Disney World in Florida, it was nothing but a bunch of swampland in central Florida. And they said that Walt Disney came out and he got all the people who were going to be working on the project. He took them out to this nasty old swamp. And what he had done was he gathered clusters of balloons in different places. And he had all those people stand around and he said, now that over there is, that cluster of balloons is future land, and that is western land, and that's tomorrowland. And he painted this vision for people, and with that vision, they started the whole process and project of building Disney World. And what was amazing was they completed way ahead of schedule, way under budget, because people had this vision of what it was going to end up looking like. And that was what helped them to be led so well by Walt Disney. Yes? A president is elected, and then he has different cabinet members that run the secretary, that are like the Secretary of the Treasury and Secretary of Defense. Do you know how those people are made leaders? Or what that process is called? Anybody got a guess? Kind of. What is it when you have to go to the doctor? You have a doctor's appointment. So there's leadership by appointment also. Whoops, need an N in there. So this could be like the U.S. Cabinet. And I think also, if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Waltz can correct me, I think, aren't Supreme Court judges appointed? The president appoints Supreme Court judges. So there's another way you can become a leader, an appointment leader. And then, this isn't all the categories, but there's one more category I'd love to tap on that some of you may be familiar with or may not be. And a lot of times people don't think of this role as a leadership role. But what, I'm trying to make you help you guys guess this. What would you call somebody who may be at times more behind the scenes and is more interested in helping other people than in being known as a leader? Take a guess, it's okay.
Yes.
Okay, Trent saw it, so if we get stuck, we'll call on Trent. What would be an example of somebody who's trying to Trent, you saw it.
Servant.
Like a
Yes.
servant leader, okay? Or servant leadership is a type or a type of leader. Anybody have an example of somebody who might be a servant leader? Trent's already seen it, so you can't say. There's a lot of people that might fit in this category. Anybody think of any? Yeah.
Well, I don't think they're really a leader, but I think the people that, like, when you're doing a play, the people that get everything ready and stuff.
Kind of behind the scenes, the set
Yeah.
crew or something might be that. That's a good example, yeah. Cam, you have one thought? Okay. Here's a couple people that I thought of that were like that. One is I think, you know, the person Jesus of Nazareth was kind of a servant type leader. He taught a different type of leadership. Another one that I kind of think of is Mother Teresa. And, you know, she didn't ever really set out to be a leader in a sense, but her whole life was serving the poor and dying of India. But I think a lot of people would look to her as a leader. So anyway, these aren't all of them again, but these are some of the categories and types of leaders that there are. And those are some examples, and a lot of those people could fit into different categories. And also, there's leaders that do more than one category, so it's not an exclusive thing.